Going live. It's now live. We did it.
We did it. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Yeah. You'll see that there's, what's that?
I said, yeah, I'm excited, Rich. Come on. I'm on with Rich Schefren. Come on.
I think we should introduce who you guys are. We got Buck, Rizvi, and Ryan Lee joining us today. And I know these guys, both of them, for a really long time, go back at least a decade, which is kind of insane. And, you know, what Buck and also Ryan kind of represent is what I'd like to think of myself, people like Perry Marshall, like part of the good side of internet marketing, generally not the people that kind of lead you astray, kind of are out for your money, but are really out there to make sure that you get what you want and you get your business growing and thriving the way that we know it can be. And so today what we're going to talk about is traffic. And you know, obviously traffic is the lifeblood of any online business. I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that they can go out and how much of a waste of time that can be for a business. And that ultimately what every business has to realize is that all traffic has a value, and you're either able to extract more of that than what the market has placed on that traffic, or you're not. And if you are, then the world is really your oyster, and you really need to know about every single way that you can add more eyeballs to your offer, get more traffic to your site. And so that's really the reason that we're all here. And, you know, I want to just give a little more context in the fact that even if you have a channel that's working gangbuster for you now, you'd be doing yourself a disservice, one, if you're not on multi-channels. One, for the sustainability of your business, but two, also that in my experience in working with the different companies that I've worked with, that the customer channels also benefit from a synergistic effect of just watching an overall increase happen just because of being hit from so many different angles. And so I figure both you guys, it's probably better for you guys to share your backstory as it relates to this, as opposed to me try and cherry pick each piece. So Buck, why don't we go to you first and then go to Ryan? Or Ryan, you can go first, and you guys are partners, so I'll let you guys figure it out.
Yeah, I think we have a little bit of an intro that as part of our presentation today, so that'll be fun. And thank you for the I'm tickling myself, pinching myself because I.
You're tickling yourself too? I'm like it.
And pinching. It's like two sides. That I worked with you. I think I was one of your clients over 10 years ago. And I met you. I've always been a big admirer of you and Strategic Profits and the way you think. So I'm just very appreciative to have you introduce me on a webinar like this.
I'll have to record a much better high accolade one now that I know that that it means that much, because I certainly can do a better job. So you'll have to give me another chance at some time.
We'll do.
Yeah, better prepared. I can't even focus because I'm tickling myself
and pinching.
Well, that's not anything new, Ryan.
Hey, slow down, Rich.
Hey, first of all, no one's putting any chats in the chat room, so give us some chats. So I want to make sure, because we've got a bunch of people on the line.
There's a lot of people on.
James is here. Give me a name and where you're calling in from, because we're all Zooming, right? Everyone's doing the Zoom.
We are Zooming.
Everyone's used to it.
Everyone say hello. We got look. I love it. First up, Steve from Jersey City, or as I like to say, Joyzy.
Yes. Well, from New Canaan, so you're in that region.
Well, I'm a New Yorker originally. Even though I've been in Connecticut for over 20 years, but
yeah,
it's like, hey, got Jersey, got a little New York.
Nice.
Rich, you're a New Yorker originally, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. It never leaves us.
Never leaves us. I'm impatient. I'm aggressive driver, like all this stuff.
Joy from
hey David, good to have you here.
A lot people from all over the place here.
That's making me nervous. You guys are actually paying attention because you put the chat in. I like that. Wow, Fruja Mora, Vincent, and Ruth is here from the Heartland. Casey,
Buck, we got Nancy Reagan, so we're good.
Okay.
We are good to go. We got Nancy. And by the way, my dad's name is Bruce Lee, so I'm used to dealing with the famous names.
I want a dad named Bruce Lee.
Yeah. It was fun until we used to get prank calls. They used to the phone book and they say, "Hey, it's Chuck Norris. I want to fight Bruce Lee." People, it's funny, Buck, because people are coming on, like, "Oh, I love Rich Schefren and who are these guys, Ryan and Buck, and they're going to talk traffic." You guys are going to get zero value tonight. We're not giving you anything. We're going to just make up a whole bunch of shit. And
you will get Buck in a suit, and that's probably one of the last times I'm wearing a suit in the next couple of years. Because
all right,
the lady, my sister-in-law, who sold me that suit, it's a Brooks Brothers suit that I wore for many years, said that now those suits are out of style. So I'm no longer going to wear my Brooks Brothers anymore.
Your Brooks Brothers?
I have this weird thing where there was this consignment store that was right around the block from my place in New York City that sold like super high-end suits, and they were so inexpensive. Giving them in. And so I just would go all the time, and I have a suit full of like amazing suits, but I don't wear suits and I never wear them, but they make me happy to look at.
Yeah, they're nice. Well, listen, I'm not going to spend very little time on me. I have been for the last 15 years been doing e-commerce, actually longer than that, but in terms of e-commerce, supplement health space. And I enjoy coaching people and training people how to do the same and build businesses with, I call it, ethical health businesses that are doing great things for people, helping people live happier, healthier lives, and helping themselves be profitable, be happy financially. So that's actually me on stage at one of my events, Health Profits Summit, that we were having pre-COVID, and now we're doing events on the Zoom post-COVID. But Ryan, I met Ryan as a result of the fact that I'm out there in the e-commerce world coaching other folks. So, and I would say I'm a disciple of both Rich and Ryan.
Well, and you and I are for years were friendly competitors in the health space.
And you still talk to me, which is awesome.
What's that?
You still talk to me, which is awesome.
I do still talk to you. And that is people are probably shocked. They're like, wait, Buck, where's the 30-minute story? Where's the story? Where's when you were homeless or living in a car? And all of a sudden
I had that written down somewhere, but I didn't want to bring it out now.
Yeah. We just want to get right to some cool stuff here. My name's Ryan Lee. I've been online since late 98. I started doing online fitness. I worked in a children's rehab hospital. I was a trainer. I trained athletes. Worked with kids with disabilities, and just kind of fell into this. Started writing articles online about fitness. Had some good success. Started e-commerce in early 2000. And
were you a magician?
It looks like I'm a magician. Yes.
Yes. That picture definitely makes it look like you're about to saw a woman in half or something.
I am a magician.
That's his Vegas venue there.
I like Rich throwing out the one line. You know what? And Rich is like putting me on the spot. I like it, Rich. I like this Schefren. You must have been taking some big puffs of the old cigar right before this. Rich is just chilling in the cigar bar. So I just, I love building businesses. As you can see, I like having fun. My 99% of my income comes from my actual health companies.
Yeah.
This stuff that I do with Buck, and if I teach some business stuff, this is fun for me. This is like my playtime. I love talking about business, but make no mistake, like my income comes from my health companies. And as you can see behind me, my newest company is called Rewind, and it's like a fun retro health business. We have green drinks. I'm just on here to sell my drinks. We have green drinks.
Hold on, Ryan.
Bars, we have supplements.
Think that's a fake background behind you, and this
is not fake. As you can see,
that's a real Pac-Man machine behind him.
Oh yeah, now you're gonna see me play some Pac-Man. Come on.
Let's do it.
So no, I love building real businesses, and I think that's what maybe differentiates Buck and I, besides the fact that I look like a magician there, is that we actually own businesses that don't have anything to do with teaching people how to make money. This is stuff we just like to do. We like to host things together. But Buck has a really successful business now that's growing for in the dog health space.
Yep.
And mine is Rewind in just the general health, nutrition, wellness space. So everything we do in our businesses, we teach in the real world. So I think that's maybe what differentiates us. So we just love doing this. So tonight, our topic is traffic. And we want to keep this really light, fast, breezy. We're not going to get too heavy and deep. But Buck and Rich, you know as well, right now, traffic really is changing. I'm an old school disciple, as are you, Buck, and I know, Rich, you are as well. We studied from the Halberts and the Dan Kennedys and all the old school guys. A lot of the old stuff was you find the problem and you agitate it, right? But Buck and Rich, maybe you guys could talk about now what's going on is that, at least in Facebook and Google, they don't want that. They want people to feel good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, you're gonna very quickly be canceled, and it's way too easy to be canceled by the Facebooks and the Googles of the world. Coming from someone who's experienced having his account shut down, and this was before Facebook even became a thing by Google, it's a very uneasy feeling when you think the sky is sunny, nice warm breeze in your face, feels great, and suddenly you get that call. Someone says, "Hey, what happened to our store? Where are the sales? What just, holy smoke." And it's you open up the email and it's from the Google saying, "Sorry, but your account has been permanently banned," or what have you. It's not a good feeling, especially when you have to look people in the eye and tell them, "Look, we got to make payroll. We have things to deal with here." And unfortunately, the big players, big tech, they hold all the cards, right? Yeah. They hold all the cards, but you have options, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight.
Right. And I personally love these changes. I've always marketed this way, to the side of transparency, ethic, making people feel good as opposed to twisting the knife. So this is in my wheelhouse, and I love teaching this stuff. Here's what's great about it. You are going to feel really good marketing. You're not going to feel like, oh my God, now I have to out hype everybody else. How to lose 20 pounds in 2 days. Shit, now I got to make up crap, how to lose 50 pounds in 2 days. Like, you don't have to play that game anymore. Yeah. Play the other game and be completely real and transparent. Our ads right now are working so well in our health company. We are getting ads. Our customer acquisition cost is more than half of what everyone else is, because we're just telling the truth. And people will ask in our Facebook ads in the comments, "Hey, is this, you have a 1-day micro cleanse. Can I lose weight?" Everyone all my competitors say, "Oh yeah, absolutely. You can lose 10 pounds. I say, no.
In 1 day?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
No, you're not. Like, this isn't a weight loss program. This is a thing to jumpstart and to start helping you feel good. You might lose a little bit of water weight, but that's temporary, but it's to make you feel good." And people are like, "Oh my God." Like, they're almost shocked when you market this way. And they're like, "I like this company. I want to do business with this company." So if you just get that mind shift saying, "I am just here to effing serve people and help people, and I'm going to be transparent. I want to be proud of my company. I want to have my company logo on my t-shirt," right? I have 4 kids, and my kids love coming here into the office, not just to play video games and to watch 80s musicals and records, but because they feel good about what we're doing as a company. So if you can get your business and your traffic and your marketing in that space, I call it, I have these 2 things. I call it your heart stuff. Your heart is that feel good, the service, the love, the compassion, all of that good stuff, which we all have deep inside us. And then you combine it with the smart. You combine it with that friggin' Rich Schefren, kick-ass, tactical, practical. How do I set up a good campaign? What's a good remarketing pixel? Like, all that stuff, right? But you don't want to go too heavy. If you're only about the heart and you don't have any of the good marketing stuff, it's not going to work. And if it's all marketing and there's no heart, emotion, and love and support, then it's not going to work either. The key from in my world, in my stuff, and the stuff that we're going to be talking about today is really bringing it all together. And that's when the magic happens. So who's with me? Can you give me a little hell yes or something in the chat to know that I'm not yapping to myself? Or
we have a few comments coming in here. Vincent, Bryant,
Got a whole bunch
Bryson,
of
Joy, Ray. Awesome. Good.
Okay. So it's just about feeling good, right? It's about making people feel good. It's about having your marketing feel good. And it's this congruency all throughout. I've seen this shift happening for years. Rich, you've seen it happening for years. Buck, you've seen it happening for years. And it's here now. And it's not going anywhere. Like this is the way people are going to be marketing. And if you're not marketing like this, you're going to struggle, and you're going to find you're going to have to find these alternative channels, and it's going to be all temporary stuff, because all the networks that control the traffic want people to come back, and their people aren't going to come back if you're not making them feel good.
Kumbaya.
So,
Kumbaya, yeah.
Like,
Kumbaya.
even in the, I think this is a preview of the 2-day event you guys are doing. So is this a topic of how to be this way? Is this going to be in the event? Like, is this something that you guys are covering on the different channels, or is this just something that is more separate and distinct from it?
Well, we have with the speakers, we'll be sharing how to effectively leverage a platform like Facebook and Instagram, and recognize that the change has already occurred, and what is required to be successful on a given platform like Facebook. And then Ryan and I are going to cover how to integrate that with the way we like to market, which we covered in we actually have another course that we teach called Scale Bootcamp, which we show, it's an e-commerce training of how to launch a health business and do the e-commerce and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people jump onto a platform like Facebook, and they're leveraging tricks and tips that they maybe got from one expert. And they're kind of going through the motions. And then they very suddenly realize that their account's being starved, if not being shut down.
Right.
And they don't know why. They're not getting the oh, well, here's why, and here's what you need to do to fix it, Mr. Rizvi. So we're trying to steer, put the bumper lanes on for the bowling, or the training wheels, let them know what they should be doing now on a given platform. And we're trying to help them do it ethically, and have fun. And I think that's what you're talking about, Ryan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm watching the comments come in, although Rick has now mentioned 3 times for me to watch my language. Am I cursing? Did I say the F word?
It's not me, it's Ray, I think.
Ray, I'm sorry, Ray keeps saying.
Oh, sorry, Ray.
Ray,
Yeah.
Did I keep I don't even think I was cursing, but anyway, go after yourself.
I think we got a bot attached to our account.
I'm very emotional. I get very emotional. I'm sorry if I did curse. I didn't think I was, but
yes.
I actually don't curse, but I get excited. And if you keep lecturing, Ray, I will continue. I will drop F-bombs until you leave.
Go there.
So, okay.
Awesome.
So we've got, and the other thing with our event is everyone we bring on has our same philosophy, our same ethos, right? Like, we're not bringing on people who are all about those little tricks and anything that's black hat or even gray hat. Everything's white hat. And that's what's great. Like, you could just give and serve and be white hat. Now the other side. So what the big trend happening is everyone's like, well, forget paid traffic, and everyone runs to social, right? Well, what if I post, right? What if I post 100 times a day? What if I post 500 times a day? And speaking of cursing, Ray, go follow Gary Vaynerchuk. You're going to love him.
Oh, no. He's not speaking at our event.
Gary's not speaking at our event. And by the way, I know Gary personally. It's funny. I first learned of Gary years ago through you, Rich. You interviewed him when he was doing Wine Library. And then I started following him. I became friendly with him, and me and him spoke at a bunch of events together. But his whole thing is, put out so much content, right? Content. And if you're not succeeding, it's because you're not working hard enough, right? But here's the problem. All of the Facebook engagement and social media engagement and Instagram engagement, everything is plummeting. Do you guys remember? Rich, I'm sure you remember Facebook when if you had 100,000 fans back in the day, you'd post something and it would reach like 90,000. And then overnight, the next day you post and it reached like 7 people.
Yeah, I mean, this is the common bait and switch that every single major platform has done. It got every single advertiser to say, like us on Facebook, because back then you could communicate with everyone that liked you. So that's why they sent all their buyers on every, advertisement that you saw on television and everywhere else, like to Facebook. And then as they had everyone, then they slowly slipped it away. And Google's doing the same now with like more than 50% of searches not leaving Google because of the answer box that they scrape people's content and then they serve.
Well, there was just an announcement today.
People saying get monetized.
Yeah, where Facebook acknowledged. In this case, this has to do with politics, so we're not going to cover politics in this call.
They throttled down the post,
but they admitted that they had the power to throttle a post. They just said we're going to throttle it down. That's the one they admit to. Imagine all the ones where the algorithm they're not telling you, right?
Right.
Now, I'm a little disappointed because I thought we were just going to talk about politics tonight because I know that's everyone's favorite topic.
All right, we're going off road.
Trump or Biden. But by the way, it's not just Facebook, right? It's Twitter, it's LinkedIn,
yeah,
it's Instagram, it's it's very soon. It's only a matter of time till it's TikTok, whatever else comes next. Bing bong, who the heck knows what's going? Like whatever the next thing of the month is going to be.
Are you making fun of my dances? Because I've been working on them all night.
You've been working on your
about to release them.
My kids, so I have the 4 kids and 3 of them are teen girls, and all they do is walk around the house like this. Drives me insane. But that, as Rich perfectly pointed out, it's the bait and switch. They bring you on, you have 100% engagement. Oh my God, look at all this great stuff. And then what happens is a couple of months later, you become this poor person.
What happened to her?
The Instagram influencer, she had 2.6 million followers, and she couldn't even sell 36 T-shirts.
Not a great T-shirt.
It's not a great T-shirt. But could you imagine if you had 2.6 million email subscribers? Even if it's a picture of Schefren chomping on a cigar, you're going to sell more than
36 of those. Yeah,
you're going to sell more than
36 million.
I would buy a lot of them. I think you'd sell 1 million easy. But it just shows you cannot rely on this. And Rich, I used to listen to all your programs. You were like my Mozart, my Beethoven. So I don't remember which program it was. Maybe it was like an Agora thing 15 years ago. And it was a quote you said. I'm going to completely butcher your quote, but it was something to the effect of, and I think it was you and Mark Ford or Michael Messerschmidt at the time were talking. It was something about you don't have a real business until you're able to predictably acquire your own customers. And I listened to that. I rewound it and listened to it like 10 times, and I wrote it down. And I'm like, that was the most profound thing I learned from you. I learned a lot from you, but that was it. And it made me take a step back and like, oh my God, I have to be able to do it. And the Vaynerchuk doing 100 pieces of content and all that stuff is not the way to predictably acquire customers. No. Rich, can you just maybe go off a little bit on that?
And also, just you know Gary, I know Gary, and did you lose? You got me? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gary is a very uniquely charismatic person. He, how he appears on video is how he is kind of in real life. And, to like when he spoke at my events, like the last thing I would want to do is follow him, be the speaker after, because he's a very dynamic and charismatic guy. And, that's his talent. That's what he's great at. And if that's what you happen to be great at, then maybe you can do something like that. But, 99 out of 100 people cannot do something like that. And which means that you have to build a business that is able to acquire customers and get them to spend more than it costs to acquire those customers. And when you're able to do that on a consistent basis, then you have the foundation of a very understand is that you're really building a house of cards. And, a lot of people don't pay like the prices that I charge unless one of two things: either they're crushing it and they want to figure out how to like crush it even further, or like there's a big problem, right? And that's why they're calling me. And trust me when I say that if you build a business on a house of cards, the problems are 10 times worse if you actually get some success for a little while, because the end result of that is you firing people, you being left with, the remnants of whatever you had, and being very much aware that it could have been different. And so what this is like the necessary step to have a successful business, to be able to go out and purchase customers at a predetermined price based on your past experience, and to know how to absorb that customer over time.
Yeah. Now, Buck, you and I have both built e-commerce businesses that hit 8 figures in sales. We did it through, you were much better at paid traffic than I was. And I'll share, reinforce Rich's story with one of my companies.
Yeah.
We built it. We were doing 7 figures a month in revenue. However, our entire business model was affiliate driven. So meaning we only had affiliates promoting us, that we didn't do any of our own paid traffic. So right. When it was working, it was great. It was like crack. We got it for free. We paid commission. However, when our number 2 affiliate left and started his own company and took all the affiliates, here we are with millions and millions of dollars in inventory and the sales off a cliff. And it's exactly what you said. We had to start laying off people, and we had to pay down all this debt now. And it was the hardest learning, because I didn't follow your advice of like predictably acquiring customers. It felt like I was predictably acquiring them because it felt good because we're getting through affiliates, but we didn't go out and get our own customers. And that was the downfall. Buck, I know you've grown your companies.
We were predictably acquiring customers because we were using paid traffic. So that wasn't definitely an advantage maybe over being affiliate driven, but we were subject to the worst number in marketing, as people say. One, we were heavily dependent upon Google, and that's where we got the majority of our traffic, majority of our sales from at that time. And actually, that's one of the reasons why we're talking about and putting on this event now is predictability across the multi-channel, and doing this ethically, doing it correctly, and building a relationship with the audience is what leads to long-term predictable success.
Yeah,
raving fans, and so that's if I could go back and talk to myself 10, 15 years ago, there are a lot of mistakes that I would avoid.
Yeah. Oh my God. The other thing, which we haven't even touched on, if you're getting customers the way we're discussing, and doing it the right way, and doing it ethically, and treating them with respect, and being completely transparent about the pros and cons of whatever it is you're selling, you're going to have such a better customer experience, right? You're not twisting a knife to get them in. They're not feeling uncomfortable. They're not like, oh, should I? And they're not having this buyer's remorse, and you're not having the 40, 50% refund rates. Our refund rates are 1/2 of 1%.
That's phenomenal for any business, let alone a supplement business. Right. Typically a supplement business might have, to 8 to 15% refund rates, depending on what market you're in.
I couldn't imagine. Yeah. We're less than 1%. It's because they know exactly what they're getting, and there's no surprise. Mm-hmm. So, and I know it's, we have a nutritional product, but you could definitely do the same. Even when I had our digital products, our refund rates were always single digits, always less than 3% with digital products, maybe 4%. Whereas my competitors were always double digits, sometimes 40, 50%. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But what I'm saying is it's a much different business when you run it this way from start to finish. So I love it. And pay traffic, in our experience, is really the only predictable way to scale. Because as we showed you, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever's coming next, it's not 100% predictable. It's just not. It's great, especially if it's free traffic, but it's not 100% predictable. Rich, have you seen people and I know it does happen, but what's been your experience behind the scenes with some of the biggest people you've helped in terms of paid traffic versus trying to scale just doing free traffic or social?
I think that a business can get its first few customers through organic traffic, right?
Absolutely.
Like for someone who's just starting out, it's actually probably a better way to go, like because they're just not ready to start wasting the money that of buying traffic, because there are going to be so many holes in everything that they do. But once someone gets serious and is making an income, and it's gasoline for the fire, and I don't really understand how many business owners don't think that way. That when I used to have my hypnosis centers, for example, I would run newspaper ads Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like full page ads in the daily news. And when I would talk to like another owner of a hypnosis center, there were like 35 hypnosis centers in the country, they would say, oh, I can't afford to advertise more than once a week. And I'd be like, well, I don't really understand that. Like, aren't you getting a multiple based on what you're spending on the advertising? And they're like, yeah, I'm making 5 to 1. And I'm like, well, if you can make 5 to 1, like, why wouldn't you want to make 5 to 1 every day? Like, why would you trade $100 for $500 just on Monday? Why wouldn't you see if you could do that twice on Monday?
Yeah.
Tuesday and then Wednesday. And so, it's sort of myopic to think that paid traffic isn't like part of your equation, no matter what no matter what your plan is. But paid traffic is the fastest, easiest way to get a business really off the ground, because now you're just like inserting money in, getting customers out, and when you have low refund rates, when you have high retention, when you have higher customer value, this becomes a game that becomes very easy to win. And what Ryan and Buck were talking about earlier, as far as like the way you're advertising has to change. Facebook now does, I think this is common knowledge to most people, in case it's not, like Facebook does follow-up now. Like if you buy off of their platform, you will see an ad like that Facebook will put in front of the customer, asking them like, what did they think of the product? And that's something they're potentially going to roll out everywhere. And other platforms will do the same, right? And so it's in your best interest to value the customer, right? And make sure that they get everything that you're promising. But on the other hand, if you play the game the right way and you're in all these channels, then you get to really crush it, right? And that's kind of the whole purpose of being here, kind of to talk about.
It's interesting you mentioned that, Rich, because and before Facebook is doing this, previously Google did this with our customers for one of my e-commerce brands, and we were invited to meet with some senior Google folks here in Boulder, Colorado. They gave us a presentation, and they said, we've done some surveys on your customers. We're like, what? And they showed us a chart that indicated that we were somewhat of an outlier in terms of customer satisfaction. I wouldn't say that in the same category as Apple, but they said that you have a very high standing with your customers relative to your peers. And we were really happy to hear that. But I guess the big deal is that you need to be aware that these platforms, these big tech platforms, they have the ability to throttle, and they're watching this like Santa, right? They're making their list, they're checking it twice, they're checking up on you. And it's one of the reasons why, Ryan and I love what we're doing, because we feel like we're doing things the right way. We're teaching how to do it the right way. And, paid traffic, I agree. Paid traffic is a great way to throttle up quickly. It's also a great way to burn a lot of cash.
Yeah.
If you do it wrong, it sure is.
It's a great way to lose all your money if you don't know what you're doing.
That's right.
But which also brings us to the point of with traffic. I think it was probably Dan Kennedy. I heard from him first when he said, the worst number in any business is the number one, right? Yeah, only having one traffic source is really dangerous. I learned it with one company where our only traffic source was affiliates. Buck, I know you've learned your lesson that way. Rich, I'm sure you have some more stories with just one traffic source. It's kind of scary. So you want to have multiple traffic sources. Doesn't mean you need to have 100 or 500 and spread yourself so thin, but at least 2 to 3, just, redundancy and backup, which brings us to the reason why we're putting this live online event together. It's bringing in people that Buck and I have used for our business. And Buck, we've talked about this a lot. Some of this is a little bit for selfish reasons why we're doing this.
Very selfish. You and I, and we know either directly or indirectly, between the two of us, we have a very large network, and we hear feedback of who the players are, who's doing well, who do we like, who do we not like. And so that was, we're thinking about, okay, Rewind, Ultimate Lifespan, Ultimate Dog, who do we want assisting us and showing us the path? And not just for the usual suspects of Facebook, Google, right? But the other, and we're going to get into this in just a moment, but there's some other gargantuan, I would say, platforms where the big brands are playing that most people are not.
Right.
And it's almost like a speakeasy where you need to know the passphrase to get in, and then suddenly, wow, you have access to this traffic that no one else is aware of.
Yeah. And we said, if we're going to do an event, let's bring on people we know, we like, but also people that are not known. I don't think any of our speakers do any of these talks, right?
Right. They're not on the talk circuit.
No, they're definitely not on the talk circuit. They're absolutely not on the talk circuit. They're not a guru. And it's also why we actually not even have their name, because you don't know any of them.
Right.
You don't know any. I guarantee you don't know any of these people. Which is kind of cool because they're practitioners. They're not speaking, they're not teaching, they're actually just doing. They're either running their own traffic or they're running traffic for their clients. So the event is taking place October 20th and 21st, 2000. And we're going to give you a little.
That's next week.
It is next week, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, I know.
All right. We got some stuff to do. Okay. We were kind of influenced, as Buck and I said, we kind of know everyone in the industry. Look, Rich Schefren's hosting us. Come on. Oh. I mean, when you get Schefren staying on this late from Boca, wherever he lives now. Are you in Boca?
This is unreal. I don't know. Yeah.
Delray.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where my grandparents used to live, Delray Beach, right on Poppy Place. So our good friend Yannick Silver years ago used to have the underground event. And yes. I remember that was actually where I became well-known, because I was well-known in the fitness industry, but other people didn't know me. So I spoke at his second one, and his whole thing was, I'm going to bring these underground people on stage and teach you marketing. So we were kind of influenced by that, except we're not going to totally copy Yannick and do the
Mission Impossible thing.
Mission Impossible. I remember he had Vern Troyer up there. Rich, were you at that event, or Buck, were you, where he had Vern Troyer?
I was at that event.
And then we're Vern, like, well, I don't want to curse because Ray is going to have a heart attack, but Vern, like, Yannick's like, oh, so why'd you do this? And Vern just like cursed him out on stage. He was a cranky, drunk man. But so we're bringing on really cool experts talking about different marketing tactics, strategies. This first session, it's going to be a panel. I have known them for years. I did an event a really private event. People pay, I think it was like $20,000 or $25,000 to be in this group. And I hosted a panel with these two guys, and they make really super niched documentaries in things like health, in business, in nutrition, dozens and dozens of them. And each of these bring in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of customers and make millions of dollars. So I hosted this session, and we won the best talk event of that event. And I said, we got to bring you back for a little reunion. And they talk about what to film, interview series, how to market it, how to use this as an amazing traffic source to build a really, really profitable business, anything you want.
The ability to build a gargantuan audience in the shortest possible time, right? Using doc films, and now, and actually the cost associated with producing documentary films has come way, way down. So these two gentlemen, and I think all three of us have had experiences with documentary films, me just being interviewed for one, but the ability to, it just blew my mind how you can leverage a docu-series. And some of these, I know both of these experts are in the docu-series space.
Yeah. Online
docu-series space is phenomenal. And if you think you can't do it or you couldn't afford it, you're wrong. So we're actually going to cover off on some of that when we have these two speakers share their secrets. And again, the only reason they're doing this is because they're our friends.
Yeah, they've never talked about this. There's no recording of this stuff.
Right.
The only time they talked about it was at this event where everyone paid like $25,000 to be there. These are guys, we're calling them the creatives. They've run traffic for me before. And
before you keep going, Ryan, just back to the docuseries for a second. Just for those of you who don't know what a docuseries is, I just want to explain it real quick and then also talk about it for a minute. A docuseries is where, you've interviewed a group of people. Days, and
Rick,
prospects get to generally watch it for, or did I?
You broke up a little bit. Okay, keep going.
Oh, okay. Where did you lose me?
At the very beginning.
So for those who don't know what a docuseries is, it's taking a piece of content. They could be a series of interviews. It could be like one long thing, but it's cut up into numerous days. And prospects get 24 hours generally to view each piece of video, and then that disappears. And then during the whole time, they have the opportunity to buy it. And it's a way of providing massive value, so much value that it kind of forces purchase and consumption. It's kind of an interesting strategy. It's one that we believe in. We actually, I think, are releasing one next week where we took the live stream that we into 24 hours, but we're only doing the best 10 or the first 10 or something that people opt in for, and then they can buy the whole set. And it's a way to, as Buck was saying, where you can get a massive amount of prospects and a pretty decent number of customers and make good money from it. And one of the models is especially when you're interviewing a lot of people, then those people, if they mail, you kind of have a pre-built in population from it. So there's a lot. These guys are the experts at it. They're the ones who I know the gentlemen that are speaking at their event, and these are really the guys that created the model. Yeah. And I believe the first one was The Truth About Cancer. Was that the first one, or? That
was one of the most popular ones. Yeah. But the ones they've done together, they've done dozens and dozens of, they're definitely two of the innovators of this. And we're going to go into the nitty gritty so this is going to be one of the
obviously you're going to teach all of it.
Yeah. Right. This is,
but it's a model that is very effective.
The other and cool thing is that this model can literally launch a very large business. So you can, the audience, and the ability to perpetuate because you have now all this content and continue on. So again, selfishly looking at the docuseries model for my dog business, for my pet business.
Yeah.
And because way to get off the launch pad.
Right. Because it's a panel. This is where I have all these questions, and I don't let people off with fluffy questions like, oh, what do you do? And they'll say, oh, you just film things. No. What kind of camera do you use? Do you edit? How long does it take to edit? What price do you charge? What do you charge for the upsell? How do you deliver it? Do you deliver physical? Is it digital? If it's digital, is there a software you recommend? Like I love nitty gritty detail. So docuseries, you are going to love that one. Next, the creatives. So these guys have run traffic for me before. What they're really good at, again, I'm very tactical with this kind of stuff, is people say, oh, put up an ad or do a Facebook ad or do a video. Well, how long should the video be? Should it be 30 seconds? Should it be 45 seconds? What's the format? Should it be a box, or should it be long, or should it be, if it's on Facebook, should it be, I don't even know half that stuff, right? Yeah. What kind of graphics? Does a face work better? Is a black outline or a purple outline? Everyone says, well, test, but they've done a lot of testing. So they're going to give you tons and tons of best practices so you can kind of skip ahead and learn from a lot of their mistakes.
I'm a big fan, Ryan, of frameworks. And that's what we're getting from, in this particular case, going to walk away with the frameworks of how to create, whether it's static image or video or animation, advertising, and ways to get it done fast.
Yep.
Because for me, it's all about speed. And,
right.
And if you have the framework, if you have the tool, and you're able to produce it quickly, or have trained somebody better to do this for you, then those ads, and sometimes I get it. Creatives will work. You'll hit a one that takes off and works for quite some time. And I've had video creatives that have continued to work to this day, and they've been running for over a year. Yeah. But a lot of times you have to change them up, and knowing what's effective on not just the big tech platforms, but some of the other platforms that we're going to share with you at the live event is key.
Yeah, they've done traffic for many 7- and 8-figure brands. So you're going to like that. The Google God.
You can't avoid the big G.
Yeah,
do it.
And he's
Are you including YouTube under Google?
Well, no, we have a different YouTube. This is, and I'm not exaggerating, he's literally a Russian engineer. Right? Is he from Russia?
He's a former Soviet citizen. Yes. Yeah.
A former Soviet engineer.
So we won't hold that against him, because I know Russia is a big problem right now, but.
But in terms of, if you want to get like the most analytical, just like campaigns, analytics, all that stuff, that deep stuff, you go to a Soviet engineer. Yes, that's what you do. Yeah. And that's who we got.
He's not going to teach like how to change a whole election with just $1,000 worth of Facebook ads.
He might.
Was 4 years ago. Now it's going to be a little bit more.
But he's a really, really good guy, and he knows his stuff, and his stuff is compliant, and his stuff just works.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a good one. Then we've got, and I've known this gentleman for a long time. Again, he doesn't speak about this stuff. More longer form ads, more like articles, simple.
Can I check in with the audience real quick, Rod? Because I just want to say, who has seen these long copy ads on Facebook? Has anyone seen that? Just give me.
Talking about like long form
ads on Facebook.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you actually clicked on one of them? Have they engaged you? What was your take on that? If you give me some feedback on it.
I mean, for us, they were very effective, and we interviewed back in February Jordan Menard, who runs the traffic for the Morrison Brothers and Bob Proctor and a bunch of others, mostly all in information though. He showed all these tests that he did on all these accounts, and he showed this was back in February. I imagine it's degraded over time, but every time he's changed the ad to "it's true," ... just that starting sentence, click-through rates went up.
Wow.
Yeah. but they're very effective. This is what we use these at Agora. They're extremely effective ads.
Well, if Rich says they're effective at Agora, that gets my attention. And I know we have friends that say this is the bee's knees. So having the king of long copy ads for Facebook speak at our event, I would come just for that. So big deal. Thanks, Ryan.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, we broke it out.
Yeah. We have because we know that's such a big way to get traffic is YouTube and YouTube ads. And this is Buck. This is your
best
content
platform right now.
Yeah, Buck.
I think it's the best.
I got to tell you, and I have to warn people about this because this is not for the faint of heart. And understanding and fully leveraging the YouTube platform, this speaker is, when we say savant, I'm not saying that lightly. I just got the litany of questions he's asking to make sure that he understands the audience and is going to deliver an amazing talk. And this is not what he normally does, right? He normally is scaling up gargantuan campaigns for his clients.
Massive.
YouTube. Massive.
I can't explain enough. These are not regular speakers. They're not going to have their 40-minute story, 5-minute of content, and then like a 30-minute pitch. These are actual rolling up their sleeves, doing stuff. And this guy is one of the best in the world at YouTube. And Buck, I know he's been emailing you every day, asking you like 1,000. I think he made Buck fill out like a 50-page survey. Yeah. But it's great because he really wants to dial in what he's going to be talking about and make it really, really, really practical for you.
Can I also say something? Because we didn't mention this before, but there is zero pitch at this event. Zero pitch. So it's not like, oh, I'm waiting for the call to action at the end of this talk. No.
Drives me crazy. I can't.
Right. So
zero. The zero pitch because they don't have anything to sell.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, some are running agencies. I mean, they
have agencies. Yeah, they have agencies.
Right.
But they're. Then we got Mr. Traffic Matrix. His 6 times in the Inc. 500, $100 million in revenue, and he is going to talk about because they run traffic in different things. They do email, they do native, they do search traffic, and they do display. So he's going to go through all of his best traffic. Rich, I know, loves multi-channel marketing.
Multi-channel. This is with a capital M. And I got to tell you, if you were to parachute me in and say, you don't get Google, you don't get Facebook, none of that, this is the guy I would call. Yeah. This is the one guy I would have on my number one on my speed dial. Yeah. And I would be up and running. Yeah. And you should too.
Yeah. He ran when we did our second company that hit 8 figures. We started, the first traffic we ran was email traffic, and we did it through his agency. And I was shocked. I was shocked how much traffic you can get through email. Not your own email, but other email lists. Right. It is such an untapped thing.
Not spam. These are
not spam. No. This is, I remember back in the day when we first started. Yeah, solo ads. Back in the day, it was like Newsmax and those guys. Like so much traffic, and so it's crazy how few people do it. Rich, I know the big companies you've worked with, they all do email traffic. That's like their bread and butter. Yeah. Yep. And all we do is talk about Facebook ads, but this is so powerful. So we're going to dive deep into that stuff. We've got a really good Facebook guy. Buck, this was your connection.
The Prince, and I want to say this is the kindest, sweetest guy, but he carries a big stick.
Yeah, really good guy.
Yes.
But he listed, I didn't want to list the companies because he has a whole list of companies that he's worked with because I don't want to give away although people aren't going to know him anyway.
Several 8-figure players that he's running the campaigns for. Yeah. He understands all the nuances of how to stay in the good graces of the big Facebook.
Yep. Yeah. All that stuff. So now.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Here it comes.
What, Willy Wonka? What is it?
Now, this is when you're waiting for, okay, here's the pitch. Here's going to be the value stack. Here's the bonuses. Here's the 1997 or some price that ends in 7. Buck, can you give me a drum roll? and tell us.
Hold on to your purse, Edna. Hold on to the purse.
Are we ready? Let me guess what people think this is going to cost to attend. Give me some numbers.
It's not $1 million.
Give me numbers. Oh, Ray just said we have his attention.
Ray,
yes.
We've got Ray's attention. It's not $2,500.
That's all I wanted to know.
Although Ray, for you, 20. It's not for Bernadette especially. It's $997 to $497.
Ray, I will give you half price if we come on live and you drop 10 F-bombs. That is that is
okay.
That's your
I know you guys have been waiting. Thank you.
Steven said 2,500. And by the way, I'm just busting chops.
We're all
Bernadette said 497. Ray said 997. Yeah, Ray.
But I like.
Yeah, Ray MacArthur. There's another Ray.
It's a different Ray.
There's two Rays. But they
are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. To attend the 2-day event live, it is.
What?
Yeah,
guys. What?
Woo! I told you we love to give.
Hold on.
I told you we love to give.
It's $1.
Honestly, there really is no catch.
There's no catch.
If you want to attend the live 2-day event, 100% live, it's $1. If you want the recording, you can upgrade to that.
Yep.
Okay.
Real simple.
And you're going to save money on that too.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yes, Patrick, we're serious.
Yeah, no, it really is.
You can attend live for $1.
For $1.
Who is in? Give me
live.
that right now. I want to hear because I'm super excited about this. Who is in for $1 to watch the live event that we just described?
By the way, the feeling you guys feel right now,
yes,
the feeling you feel now is how you want your customers to feel when you're marketing your business. That's exactly what I'm talking about, where you're not just like coming in and you're like, cool, oh, I just bought this product, I just did this thing. Now you're like super fans. Now you're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I want to tell everybody.
Right.
So again, if you want to attend live, it's $1. If you want to buy the lifetime access, you can do that as well. It's still really, really, really cheap.
Very reasonable.
Really, really reasonable.
Yes.
Go to scalebootcamp.com/live. And you get everything. All the speakers we talked to, I think we're adding a couple more as well. We're going to have Q&As. Like, it's going to be a fun 2 days. If you like the energy of Buck and I, this is going to be, it's going to be awesome for $1. $1 for $1.
Jeff Aaron wants to know if $1 Canadian or is it $1 US?
It might be $1.25 Canadian. I didn't look at the exchange.
I thought it was
rate.
like $1 million Canadian. Isn't it isn't that the,
I just put the link in the chat. Folks, if I were right now,
or whatever that stuff is,
on the other side of this, I would be, first of all, we set this preview up literally like an 80s thing, movie theater preview, that this is the box office. This is the way you get into the box office for this event. That's the way we've structured this. And the box office now is open. Okay. You've been standing in line, hearing about what it's all about. And now you have the link, which is the box office. Grab the ticket. Okay. There are a couple options there and you'll see what they are. But when you go to that link, maybe I can share real quick. It's not really exotic. Let me just share this. Can I continue? Share my screen?
Yeah. Let me,
do you want to go there?
No, I'll stop my screen.
Okay. So I'm just here at the top here, the Scale Traffic Live event. You can read some of the preamble here and about Buck and Ryan, but all you need to do is come down here and there are two options. There's the $1, which gets you full live access to all the presentations over the 2 days, October 20th and 21st. Okay.
And by the way, no pitch. These are no
pitch.
This isn't, you're not coming on and you're like, oh, it's $1 and you're going to get hammered. There is absolutely zero pitching.
So you can click and do the basic. That's fine. Okay. Now for the pre-event rolling up until we start on the 20th, we're offering a VIP access. Okay. Which, by the way, you'll see that we're offering a full 100% money back guarantee. You can attend and do the VIP and get the special price on the VIP, and just let us know after you attend the event by the Friday after the event whether you liked it or not. We'll refund you if you didn't like it. No problem.
Yes, you got nothing to lose anyway.
No big deal.
Yeah.
But there's a pre-event. You get the 2-day live. You get all the recordings in a membership area. You get the speaker downloads. So if there's a PDF or a presentation, you get the access to that. And then Ryan and I, selfishly again, we're going to have one-on-one interviews with the speakers where you can come in and be a fly on the wall and get your questions answered as well after the live event.
And you just kind of put that one, dump that one on my lap. We did not discuss that, Buck, but
that was on my, I was unilateral.
Look, I love talking business. Like I said, this is my fun stuff. This is like my hobby. Some people like spending time with their kids. What are they, crazy? I love doing marketing. No, but this is fun. And if I know I'm going to be taking notes, so there's going to be maybe a couple questions I want to ask, and you guys are going to have more questions as well. So we'll be able to go and dive deeper into that. So
we've got some questions coming in. Can we answer a couple questions while we're?
Yeah, I see there's one question there that asked like, how many hours a day is it? I saw that one that passed by.
We're thinking it's going to run from 10 to 4 Eastern on both days. So 20th and 21st, 10 to 4. 10
a.m. to 4 p.m. ish.
Mm-hmm. Eastern, yes.
Yeah, Eastern.
10 to 4 Eastern.
New York time, baby. Everything's New York time.
New York time, Ray.
New York / Del Rey time.
Right.
Yep. You got to always have Del Rey time.
May be different from Delray Beach time, no? I'm teasing.
I love Del Rey. So
much sunnier here, and it stays brighter later.
Yes. Well, Rich, I lived in Florida for a couple of years. Yep. I was in Jupiter.
So this offer is open for the VIP is open until the show starts.
Yeah.
Right. So you can get the VIP pricing because we will raise the price on the VIP. So if you want that price, by the way, you got the full protection for the Friday until the Friday after the event to get your money back. If you didn't like what you're hearing, that's fine.
I got to say, man, $199 really is a ridiculous deal.
I know it is.
I mean, if
1,000, 2,500.
if you guys can go through 2 full days with all these speakers and all these specific things on how to do a video and how to do docuseries and Google and Facebook and all this stuff. If you can't make back $199, then we failed miserably. We just didn't want to make it another like $2,000 thing. We wanted to make it that, look, if you can't afford $200, then do the $1. Come on live. And if you want to upgrade to VIP, you're down with VIP. Yeah, you know me. I want to see who knows that.
Who knows me?
I was trying to do a little callback.
Start playing the jukebox. Faruja was asking, when is the event? It's October 20th and 21st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be
Wednesday and Thursday.
That's correct? Next Wednesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Del Rey time.
Yep. And it's going to be on Zoom.
And we're going to, I want to try to make it still fun and high energy. Yes, there's going to be some really deep stuff. Some of like the analytics. You can only make Google Analytics so much like fun. We're going to do our best. But we do, the whole idea is for you guys to walk away with saying that was like the best thing I've ever done in my life. And if it goes really, really well as we think it can, then we want to do more of these things. This is fun. So
Kurt was asking, you can buy the VIP up until the start of the event. Okay. Yeah. So that will be open as an option for you. I really wanted this to be pre-event. So before the event starts, you have the option to come in, upgrade from your $1. If you, when the event starts, the price goes up. And I can guarantee you that $199 is absolutely, the price goes up to the $299 price point, okay, which is still a steal of a deal, right? You're going to get all the recordings, you get access to the Q&A, you get the speaker presentation downloads, et cetera, in a private members area. So the 20th, I think it is Tuesday and Wednesday. You're right. 20th is Tuesday and Wednesday. So absolutely fine for you to come and join us live.
And I know that there's going to be great speakers, and I know that they're going to deliver overwhelming value. And so I know that many of my peeps, once they hear some of the content, they're definitely going to want to get their hands on the VIP package, right? And by then it's going to be more expensive. So You said that there's a guarantee that they risk nothing. So if they know that once they hear a great presentation, they're going to buy the package, better to buy it now. And if there is no great presentation, then get a refund.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen anyway, but you're more than welcome to. And then having the pressure of knowing that now you have to spend $100 more for what you could have had before, even though you didn't have any risk. So think about that and make the right choice.
Yes. And then I think Rich just texted me and said, if you guys join right now, VIP, he's going to give you free one-on-one coaching for life. Rich, was that just a text you just promised me?
Love you, brother.
Yes, of course. I'm going to give my cell phone number out now.
He's going to give you his cell number, and you can call him 24 hours a day, anytime, any question.
Which is like,
by the way,
in the spirit of your offer, it will have to be an extra 25 cents. Like I'm going to have to charge an extra 25 cents for my phone number and be on call 24/7.
25%, and he will write all of your copy for life. By the way, I am kidding, of course, but it is
$1. It is $1.
It's a buck.
It is $199 in advance for all the transcripts, and all that kind of stuff, and after it's more.
Yeah, and you know what I'll do? I'll look. I'll find some extra. I'll find a bonus thing to put in there.
In the vein of full transparency, can I share a little Easter egg that's on the other side for those that take us up on the VIP?
What's that?
The folks that take us up on the VIP will be, Ryan and I just completed, I think it's been now a couple months that we completed that. We completed a 16-week coaching program called Scale Bootcamp. And that, for anyone that is interested in launching and scaling a business, an e-commerce business with soul, like Ryan does with Rewind Co., like I'm doing with Ultimate Lifespan, Real Dose, and Ultimate Dog, and we've had people tell us, and I think we have some on the line right now, that this was the best coaching, and I'm sorry, Rich, you have to close your ears, I'm sorry. This was the best coaching program I've ever had, bar none. And so we're really proud of it, and it's in the can, it's ready to go. We are, for those that, if you're not already been through Scale Bootcamp, there is a special Easter egg offer that we will make to people that come in VIP so that you can get access if you want to. There's a way you could upgrade if you want to the full Scale Bootcamp. You don't have to. And you can do the $199 or the $299 if you wait until things start, but we will invite you to Scale Bootcamp at a very special rate. So I'm just kind of previewing that for you as well, but only not the dollar folks. The folks that come in for the dollar wouldn't see it. The folks that come in for the $199 or the $299 would see it. Just letting you know. And
it was over 4 months we delivered that. We kept just going and going and going. Look, Nancy Reagan is in
for the VIP. Nancy, thank you, Nancy.
Yeah. And I don't know if you pronounce it Reagan or Regan, but if you pronounce it Reagan, Nancy did not just say no. How about that? How about that for an 80s reference?
That's awesome, Nancy. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah. David, everyone else, Ray Gunn. Okay, awesome.
No, Reagan. Reagan.
So, Rich, I cannot thank you enough for doing this and staying on the line. I can't tell you, so many people have introduced us when we've done calls and things where they just sort of introduce us and let us do our thing on a webinar or what have you, and don't hang around with us and chat. And I really appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Just introducing us.
Yeah, this was
part of the show.
It was great having you. They'll be like, oh, I'll be here in the background. And they're just like,
they're gone.
They're watching Netflix. They're like, oh, what do you think? They're like, oh yeah, great input, Buck.
Right. People raise their hands. So did we answer Jeff, Bernadette, and Gregory's questions? If you guys want to put, we have 3 hand raises. If we answered your questions, just put them in the chat. If not, if we didn't answer the question, put it in the chat. Otherwise, remain silent.
Yeah, but Rich, seriously though, thank you again for hosting us, trusting us with your tribe. I know you're very protective of who you let into your world, and the fact that you were a big part of our business and then we're kind of working together. It's really cool. So we truly appreciate it. This was cool. And for everyone on, we hope at minimum to see you on live for $1.
Yes.
$1 for $1. If you want to upgrade to VIP, that would be awesome as well. But all we ask,
and there are going to be a lot of unadvertised, because you just heard me. Ryan does things unilaterally. I do the unilateral. There's going to be things that we add on to those that are in the VIP club. We just like doing that. That's the way we roll. Yeah,
we're always going to add more stuff. And here's the only thing I do ask of all of you, everyone who comes on live and attends, that the stuff you learn, you put it behind a business that truly helps people. Okay, that's all I ask. Meaning, please don't do this and say, I'm just going to create the cheapest supplement, fat burner that doesn't work, and I don't care what's in it. I just want to make money, right? Or I'm going to buy the crappiest product, or I'm going to put together a really awful course. I just want to make the money. Please don't do that, Dan. Like I really, really mean it.
That's how you usually open your talks, and I'm glad that you're mentioning that now.
I know, but I got so nervous with Rich. He's very intimidating. But I mean it. Like life is too short. I just had my 48th birthday. I know Rich and Buck are pushing like 65. So,
thanks, man.
And Rich's screen just froze with him just with a face of pain. Man, life just goes really fast. Just get out there. You can really build a great business that serves others, that helps others, that you feel good about, that could make you money, and you could do it the right way. So,
amen.
Thank you for spending time with us today or tonight, wherever you are. And thank you all. We'll look forward to seeing you at the Scale Traffic. We'll
see you guys next week at the Scale event. We're super excited about it. And if you have any questions, I think you could just hit reply on the email. If we didn't answer a question tonight, Ryan and I will get back to you, and we'll see you at the event. It's going to be a great show.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye, Ryan. Bye, Buck.
See you, Rich.